Hello, everyone. Kim and
Hi.
Terry here. And we wanted to get on today and talk about feelings and how the body. Are you going to sing?
I'm not gonna sing.
And how the body never lies. Never lies. It always knows. And we have been taught to ignore our feelings, whether it's an emotion or whether it is a feeling in the body, a pain, an energy, a chill, a resistance, a heaviness. All of those feelings are our messengers. And so getting in touch with how you're feeling is such a beautiful accomplishment on the journey. Because
That's great. That's a great word.
let's be real. Our whole life, like my whole life, I was taught to not pay attention to what I was feeling. And I felt a lot. Like I feel a lot in my body. Okay. And so yeah.
This is interesting too, because everybody has their different levels of feelings too, and like the way they respond to them. You and I have talked about this before. Yes, you were very sensitive growing up, right? You picked up everything. My life was so busy. I passed over everything, almost everything. So it's very, very, let's talk about you.
So here's the thing. To that point, your messengers operated in slightly different ways because your body is still communicating. Yours may have communicated in you're still going to feel stress. You're still going to feel joy. But so the fact that I'm more sensitive,
I mean that in an amazing way.
Certain way.
You're actually paying more attention to what your body is saying to you back then than I was.
But I felt it, but I wasn't paying attention to it. So we can all block it out. And we're all really navigating this journey of remembering what for us this feeling means. And it's like we're navigating this, right? And so we're coming into more grounded embodying understanding of what these feelings mean for us, because they're going to be slightly different for everyone.
And all different levels too, even in those differences, even within yourself.
Yes, exactly. And really I'm feeling called to really talk about
feeling. You're feeling it.
I'm feeling called to really talk about our feelings when it comes to the inner world and the outer world, right? Within and without. And so it kind of works the same way. So if, for example, if I'm thinking of something, if my mind is going in whatever kind of thought forms or thought pattern, right, that's maybe not healthy, I'm going to feel in my body unhealthy. That's probably not the right word. That's, to me, I would say that is untrue. That is not authentic to what my highest self is calling me to.
And who and what you are. It's not lining up.
Right. So if my patterning, my thought patterning is leading me to feel in such a way that causes me anxiety or causes me a heavy heart or causes me, not to feel great, I now know, wait a minute. First of all, that's not true for me. Second of all, what is this spiral in the pattern? Like, what is happening? And it allows me to be very conscious of that. So that's the inner, right? And also the inner of if I'm not necessarily thinking about something, but something comes up and I'm feeling a way that doesn't feel great about it. Again, I know that's not true. And oftentimes it's something that is, we're not going to go too deep into this, but it's something that's needing to be released, because energy builds up in our bodies, our belief systems, our traumas, our wounding, our societal patterning and programming and things like that, that all builds up is stored in our bodies. And what I have found, for me, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but what I have found, and others that are doing similar healing work on themselves or helping others, guiding others through it, have found as you release those things that aren't true for you, like those things that aren't true for me, that I have accepted as truth or had a trauma that has created a belief that I had, as I release those things, I become more sensitive and more conscious of when things come up.
And when you release them, right, doesn't it leave space for you to fill that with your truth? With
truth. Yes, with truth.
Yours.
Yes. And so the same, and you can, you're more clear, because you're clear, and it's like, oh my God, I'm in a new freaking world. Like, it's like everything is different as you.
It's almost like your senses are heightened, right? So you can, so they're not like buried. They're above ground. And now, because you're at that space, you can pick up on, which does create more sensitivity, which is amazing, because you want that.
Well, and you're being initiated. Like, it's like we're moving through all these different, and again, I'm not going to go too deep into this either, but you're being initiated into different levels of being able to handle feeling more, right? And being more sensitive too, because at one time we were ignoring these things, and then we started recognizing them. It was like, oh my God, like even the smallest thing was like so much when you allow it to move through you, or when you kind of gain control over the patterning. And then you move into spaces where you trust the process. This doesn't feel good right now. I'm going to move it. I'm going to let it go. And it's being filled with a greater truth that's true for me. That's my authentic purity, right?
Right.
And then the next time, sometimes things come up and they're really hard, like it really hurts, and you're like, I know how this goes. I trust this process. I know on the other side of it, I'm going to have more clarity. I'm going to have more truth. It's going to unveil newer levels of awareness and expansiveness in the world. And so it's like initiation, so little initiation. We're being initiated every single day. And then on the other side of it,
you can allow it or not allow it. That's your choice.
Yes, absolutely. And then on the other side of that is the outer world, right? It's like we have our inner and outer, we have within and we have without. So without, it kind of works the same way. And we were talking a little bit about earlier, you and I, about advice. And like whether it's advice, whether it's an energy of somebody, whether it's anything, like, and some, oftentimes the people we're closest to, we get so accustomed to these energies, until we gain more sensitivity, we don't recognize that either it really resonates or it really doesn't resonate. And when I say resonate, what I mean is it feels really aligned, or it feels not aligned, which is kind of like the energy doesn't feel good, or you get a feeling in your body, or you start to feel anxiety, you start to feel stressed, or you start to feel tense, or you get like a feeling, or like whatever it is. And so we start to, when we start to pay attention to these things, we can recognize I guess now I'm going to move to the word resonance. Resonance or not. Are we, like, when I'm talking about my thoughts, am I resonating with that thought, or am I not feeling so good about that thought? Does that thought make me feel good? Does it flow? Does it feel aligned with my truth, or does it not? And so when we're talking about the external world, either in a space, a place, a person, a conversation, a relationship, whatever it is, we're able to have our bodies tell us if that is aligning with our truth right now, here and now in the present, or if it's not. And even when it comes to conversations, like a lot of times a conversation can just not resonate, or someone trying to give advice that's whether warranted or unwarranted, and like, and I'm on video, honey. And, and so if that's happening, like, how does that feel in your body? Is it resonating, and are you creating like a higher, more aligned vibration in the conversation? Or is it like something like someone gives you advice, or someone says something about you, or someone says something that just, even if it's, they're talking about something not even having to do with you, whatever it is that aligned? Does that feel good? And if it doesn't, I would say that that your body is telling you this is not your truth. Whether it was before, maybe you had a lot of these conversations before, this person said the same things to you, but now there's been something that's changed, and now you're aware that that is not your truth.
Right. And doesn't that go along with just, when we were talking about when you get a little more sensitive, meaning that you can pick up on some of these things before, then you know what your truth is. Before, you're kind of not sure, and maybe that person knows better than I do. And so let me weigh in, let me listen for a second. And then you get to a space where, no, that doesn't feel right. I'm not gonna, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then you start making sort of these decisions for yourself, and you hear them, but you don't acknowledge it. You don't do anything. And then you get to these places in your life where which is actually just happened to me the other day. It was like, hi, thank you. No, it's like, because you gain confidence as you go, and you begin to trust the inner urgings and the inner knowings. And who knows better than you about you? Like, how can anyone looking on the outside look in and tell you what is better for you? They can't. It's not possible. Never, ever. And that's where then you can like lead into the no judgment factor, right? Because exactly, because there's 0 point in judging anybody for any actions that they're doing or anything that's happening.
Absolutely.
Because you cannot say where they are in the journey, what's going on inside of them, what's going on in their outer world that's creating some of the chaos. It's just impossible for you to know what's better for them.
And judgment is a conversation I want to have, and I think that's the whole video, right? Because that stems from a lot of things, right? And it's easy to recognize once you've begun to recognize the feelings in your own body, and can then gauge external world in a different way. And one thing that came up when you were talking about all of that was like, who are we living for? Because a lot of times,
right,
guilt can come in when we start to recognize we're not resonating very fully with another, like we're not feeling so good. Like we can feel guilt, or and compassion for like, well, what if I speak my truth, that this really isn't aligning with me, or like whatever it is. And then the highest and best truth for you is your own, which in effect actually sets others free. And so that's another subject also, is how we band-aid the world when we start to recognize that we don't necessarily align fully anymore with things a certain way, or in conversation and friendship and relationship, and in with a job, with a group of friends, with everything. So
well, that's part of the growth process. But
So is there anything else on the subject of the body never lies that we want to cover? Like, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to be conscious of time. And
Are we 10 minutes? Yeah.
no, we're more
Yeah.
than a minute.
Okay, then we're good.
Okay, yeah, I feel like this feels really good, and we'd love to hear from all of you in your journey of your feelings and like recognition, like your body. There you go, sing it. I knew you were gonna say it. Of the body, that the body never lies, and your body never lies to you.
Never.
Always is telling you the truth. The question is, are you hearing and understanding it or not? So. Sending you all so much love. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, baby.
Bye for now.
Bye.